All right, you may start.
Hello dear colleagues, here in Edmonds, Washington on the 21st of May. I want to tell you some of the background and the foreground to the DVD which this video accompanies. The main point to hold in mind all along as we know each other from different settings is that the purpose of this video is to prepare the way for the political acceleration of our achievement of our goals. These include policy changes, the movement of money, the creation of wealth, the creation of community. If there's one thing that we're working on in my institute that's common to all these purposes and goals, it is we want to go faster. If you look at almost any paper, you will see page after page that the story has to do with urgency, haste, speed, emergencies, rescue, acceleration. And a common theme that is shared both by our friends at NASA and by our friends who are disabled veterans is, what if the money doesn't come fast enough for us? Only yesterday in the Wall Street Journal, that is the 20th of May, there was an article by a gentleman whose first name is Michael, making the case for seeing the genius of America as entrepreneuriality. The whole country's genius is to be entrepreneurial. The gist of his argument was, you can't make an omelette without breaking eggs, and true that in the law of the jungle and the market, many companies will go to the wall and people will be unemployed, but hey, that's the price we pay for living in this glorious country. Well, that's a theory of America which I don't think we need, and if I was one of those people who was being displaced and made unemployed and so on, I might have strong words to say to the author of this article, and I probably will say it to him via the op-ed page. Sometimes one has to go back to first principles, and in this case, let's ask what America's stand for freedom means. It does not mean the freedom to shatter other people's lives and expectations for the acquisition of personal wealth. The freedom that this country wanted, and I should know since I came from the old world, was freedom from unfair and irrational and mean-spirited denial of one's right to think one's own thoughts, live one's own life, live in harmony. There has never been anything in there about a particular conception of commerce or finance. If we see the purpose of America's freedom as the freedom to love one another, the freedom to live a full life from conception to having one's ashes scattered in the sea, we also have the freedom to think the best thoughts about wealth creation with the best artists available, the best wine at our fingertips, the best company that we need, real or imaginary, to do it. Then we can set out a different question. What kind of freedom is it that sets free the energies of disabled veterans and that shatters the false premises of the NASA fiscal policy and delivers instead those new opportunities for NASA that can benefit the disabled veterans? Before we can go any further, we have to go to the second of the first principles, and that is, how fast is fast? In our work in our mathematical institute, we are learning and proving, as mathematicians like to do, there are no a priori limits to how fast something can go. Even instantaneousness is only the end of a particular theory of acceleration. Not only can we go faster than light, as has now been proved by physicists at Imperial College, London University, we can go faster than light can even think, and so on. Suffice it to say that in the work we do, we're now developing 3 white papers that will link the disabled veterans to the NASA folks, to the venture capitalists of the world, around the theme of wealth creation at warp speed. these 3 white papers, which are, as it were, presaged by Dan Shaw's DVD here, deal with the efficacy and representativeness and political intelligence of white papers yesterday, and those written today, and those that we must write in order to set free the energies of disabled veterans to work in the development of 1,000 Earth-based space stations and all that they imply and serve, to give NASA the best possible future. And for all of this, we are working to give a fresh beginning to the National Venture Capitalist Association, and with it to reinvent that social invention known as money. Contrary to the thoughts of those who don't study it, money is not some neutral entity. Even if one were to say that gravity is some kind of neutral force, or sunlight is a neutral force, money is not like that. Money is like a message that contains within it the roots of rivalry, competitiveness, and alienation. All these things can be proved. A better world of money is coming. The adventure of space venture capital is its spearhead and wavefront. The disabled veterans in all 50 states working together, homologously, harmoniously, and astronomically, are the heralds. People ask me, well, this sounds like a lot. I reply, really? By whose standards? Lilliput or Brobdingnag, in terms of Gulliver's Travels? Or if somebody says to me, boy, do you think we can get that done so fast? I say, so fast as what? Such a thing is meaningless. Instead, we have to focus our will on specific political goals, and the white papers we're working on, and their multimedia equivalents, so they'll actually become the Rainbow Coalition type of white paper. These are the instruments that we are using to raise the consciousness of government at every level, and even more, to bring hope to those in NASA and those among the disabled veterans' entrepreneurial gate. Hope that their shackled energies are about to be liberated into a very, very happy and inspired freedom. If you will read this, if you will view this video DVD with this in mind, you will be able to start working with us to give your input to the best white paper this country has produced yet. And why should we settle for anything less than the best when the energies of so many veterans are at hand? Thank you for your attention.